All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about one single day, just 24 hours, that completely flipped the tech world on its head. And I mean, this wasn't some slow burn. It was like an earthquake, a massive shift that happened almost overnight.
So the date you need to remember is March 13th, 2026. Keep that date in mind. Because what we're going to do here is look at 6 huge things that all happen on that one day. And when you put them all together, you start to see just how fast this AI revolution is really moving.
Which kind of brings us to the big question, right? How can one single day, a few announcements that seem totally separate at first, how can that rewrite the future of technology? Well, let's break it down piece by piece.
Okay, so our first story. This one starts with a really direct, really human impact. Because on the morning of March 13th, thousands of people found out their lives were about to change just like that.
The number itself is just staggering. We're talking 1,600 people. 1,600 employees at Atlassian, the company that makes Jira and Confluence, were all told they were out of a job. This wasn't some minor adjustment. This was a huge deal.
And to give you a sense of scale, that's 10% of their entire global workforce. Gone. A cut that big just screams that something fundamental is changing inside the company. So of course, everyone wanted to know why. What's going on here?
Well, we got the answer, and it was blunt, straight from the CEO. The money they saved from those jobs, it was being funneled directly into developing AI. Think about that. It's one of the first times a big tech company just came right out and said it. We're laying people off to pay for the AI that could, eventually replace even more jobs. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it was a crystal clear sign of where things were headed.
So while thousands of people are getting laid off, on the very same day, other companies are pouring in billions. It's a wild contrast. Let's shift gears now from that human cost to the incredible financial stakes in what's basically a new AI arms race.
Yeah, on that exact same day, NVIDIA drops an absolute bombshell, a $26 billion investment over the next 5 years. But here's the real kicker. This wasn't just about making faster chips. Oh no. This was NVIDIA saying, hey, we're coming for you, OpenAI. We're coming for you, Google. They were officially jumping into the ring to build their own AI models.
And this really shows you the new battlefield, doesn't it? NVIDIA was always the company selling the picks and shovels during the AI gold rush. But with this move, they basically said, you know what? We want to own the gold mines too. By getting into both hardware and software, their strategy was obvious. They want to control the whole shebang, the entire AI stack. And suddenly, everyone realized their main supplier just became their biggest rival.
Now, when you have this kind of money flying around this AI gold rush, it's going to have consequences. And some of them nobody saw coming. The crazy, insatiable demand for computing power started to cause major problems in industries that you'd think have nothing to do with it.
Okay, this is where it gets really wild. AI data centers were just gobbling up all the available high-speed RAM and SSDs. I mean, all of it. So much so that prices for those parts tripled. And what happens next? Well, Valve has to put its new Steam machine on hold indefinitely. And at the same time, Samsung is so busy trying to make these super advanced chips for AI companies that Tesla's next-gen self-driving chip gets pushed back by 6 months. So suddenly, the AI boom is directly affecting gamers and people waiting for their next car. It's a crazy ripple effect.
But look, it wasn't all doom and gloom, corporate battles and supply chain madness. On the same day, some other companies were asking a totally different question. They were asking, how can we make AI something that's actually, useful for regular people right now?
So, also on March 13th, Meta launched a bunch of really practical AI tools for Facebook Marketplace. Think about it. A smart price assistant that tells you if you're getting ripped off. An authenticity scan that looks at a photo and helps you spot a counterfeit. This isn't some pie-in-the-sky, futuristic AI. This is AI built to solve a real problem that millions of us have: how to buy and sell stuff online without getting scammed.
And then there was Apple. In their typical, quiet way, they dropped 2 new products that nobody saw coming. And these weren't just new gadgets. They signaled a huge, huge shift in Apple's entire strategy. We're talking about the MacBook Neo and the iPhone 17e. But the real shocker? The price.
So you have to ask, why would Apple, the king of all things premium, suddenly pivot to the budget-friendly market? And the answer, once again, comes back to AI. They figured out that to really compete, they needed their powerful on-device AI to be in the hands of as many people as humanly possible. And how do you do that? You make your stuff more affordable.
It was an absolute genius move, and it changed the whole game in an instant. All right, so let's take a step back and connect all these dots. We've got layoffs, insane investments, supply chain chaos, totally new product strategies, all in one day. What does this wild, chaotic 24 hours actually tell us? What are the new rules of the tech world? Basically, on March 13th, the rulebook got torn up and rewritten. Rule number 1, AI isn't just a cool feature anymore, it's the engine of the entire tech economy. Rule 2, the fight for AI supremacy is so intense, it's forcing even the biggest players to completely change who they are. We saw that human jobs are now, in some cases, being directly traded to fund AI. We saw that AI's appetite for resources is so huge, it can mess up totally unrelated markets. And maybe most importantly, we learned that the future might just belong to the companies that can make this stuff genuinely useful and accessible for all of us.
And again, all of that in just 24 hours. One single day that showed us everything: the human cost, the high-stakes competition, and the amazing possibilities of this new AI era. The industry was never the same after that day. Which, of course, leaves us with one last big question. The world changed in a flash. Are any of us really ready for what's coming next?